As I said, we don't need to find new acquisition, so we definitely concentrate on the portfolio we have. And I'll show you our current project, or the way we manage different aspects of the portfolio currently. First one is, in our portfolio we have some opportunities. One is in Geneva, where you can see that we have this property here. And we are lucky enough to have, with this property, some available land for new construction. So we've decided to build a 20 apartment building just on that land. It's going to be a 10.5, 11 million project. It's going to add new cash flow of at least 200 net after all expenses of at least 250 to 300,000 Swiss francs. And the beauty of it is that we don't have to pay the land. So. Another aspect is we are currently accelerating the refurbishment work. One reason for that is that interest rates are pretty low, so if you have to borrow some money to accelerate refurbishment, it doesn't cost a lot. And one of our goal is definitely to reduce operating expenses on some properties, and mostly the properties we acquired from the DREF. Why? Because they were in a difficult position. They definitely spent all their money on new projects or new construction, and they let a bit their portfolio without enough renovation at some point. So the current operating expense on the old BIM Bonhôte-Immobilier properties is on average 24.5%, but on the properties we took over from the DREF, it's 29%. And looking at what we could do is that we can renovate those buildings quite easily, and we should be able to bring down the operating expenses in a reasonable way, which is going to bring us another $250,000 Swiss franc over the next 3 years. Another point, we talked about financing a bit earlier. We took over from the DREF mortgage portfolio of something like 200 million Swiss franc. So we have 200 million in mortgages to manage. And so we have decided to apply what we call a barbell strategy. And that means that we want to have a good chunk of our borrowing on a very short-term basis that costs very little, and a good chunk of our borrowing which is going to be very, very long, where we can ensure interest rates, those low interest rates, for a very long time. So the mortgages that we have to refinance now, that are coming due, we are just borrowing short term. And on the other side, we took the longer borrowing we have, and with swaps and different other or options, we refinance already those mortgages that are coming due in 2014, 15, and 16. We refinance them for another 10 years, so till 2025, 26. So it gives you a portfolio on average with a very low yield, and whereas half of your portfolio is already refinanced till 2025, and you have all the latitude to manage all the money you have borrowed on a short-term basis. Then, given what happened on interest rates, you can decide whether you want to buy, to refinance for 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years later on. And the beauty of that is that you take out the risk of refinancing your 2014, 15, and 16 mortgages. They are already refinanced. And for example, we have in 2016, we have 25 millions that are coming due at an average rate of 370, and you can already refinance them for 240 or 235. So you already know that you're going to pay 1% less when you refinance those mortgages. Takes out the risk, takes out the refinancing risk. So this, on this way, we are going to have, we can see that we are going to have 1 million Swiss franc less interest rates expenses in the next few years. Another point, in the French-speaking part of Switzerland, you have a very different situation depending on whether you have properties in Neuchâtel or in Lausanne or in Geneva, for example. In Geneva, you all know that it's very, very, very difficult to manage properties. It's very difficult to increase rents because the tenants, they can just say, no, I don't want to pay more, and that's it. He's going to have to be right. You can't do anything. So we started some program where, first of all, we talk a lot to our tenants. And we say, okay, let's see whether we can do something for you. We are going to improve your kitchen. We are going to make some refurnishment from here to here. But you are going to have to pay 300-400 francs more. And if the guy pays 1,200 Swiss francs for a four-bedroom apartment, he's going to say, oh, fine. If you do it very nice, I'll pay it. And you can, in that way, you can really create value in that. But you need a lot of work because you have to visit all those people. Another point is, if you're late with some renovation, then suddenly your tenant calls you and say, you have to change this window. Okay, that's fine. But if you have to do that, you are going to change the window. You are never going to be able to change the rent. If you go in a building, you say to everybody, okay, we are going to change all the windows. It's going to be much more efficient. Your extra costs for heating and everything will diminish a bit, and then we are going to increase the rents a bit. It's fine. You can do it. So definitely, in managing the portfolio, you can definitely increase value. And also in the French-speaking part of Switzerland, you probably know that we don't have exactly the same way to treat some what is landlord expenses and what are the tenants expenses. You've got a couple of things that in the German-speaking part of Switzerland, the tenants will pay for things that in the French-speaking part of Switzerland, it's the landlord that are going to pay. So we are moving also in our contracts, we are moving a couple of things around and to bring a bit more the German-speaking way of doing the contracts into some of our buildings, properties.